Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a ride-along with Hazard Police during severe weather. And a KSP trooper is recovering after his cruiser was rear-ended in the winter storm.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Madison Carmouche. We're just past 6 o'clock this Tuesday morning. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Now, Megan, the snow may be done falling, but we're not necessarily out of the danger zone.
No, we are not. We have a lot of things to consider, a lot of things that you need to take into account if you are leaving the house today. First, those being, well, we do have some fog in the area, especially as you're traveling towards Virginia, looking at 0.8 mile visibility in Wise, 2.4 in Clintwood, and 4.8 in Grundy. Now, just because you see an area that looks like it has perfect visibility, Moorhead's at 10, does not mean you couldn't run into a very small patch or two this morning, especially with that higher relative humidity. Now let's look at satellite and radar, and as you can see, definitely a cloudy day. We do have just a little bit of snow still falling as a remnant from the system that we had the other day, but that will be clearing up as you're heading into 11 a.m. today. And as we look at those temperatures, that's just another thing you need to consider. It is very cold. You're going to need to warm up your car and scrape off that ice before you head on to the road today. Now, here are those high temperatures, and you're not going to get much better. We're looking in the mid to upper 20s for most of the area, seeing some 30s as you're traveling more towards Tennessee. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. Officials throughout the region continue to ask folks to stay home unless they have to be out due to road conditions. As the snow melts, drivers may think it is safe to drive, but the winter weather is not finished just yet. More snow and freezing temperatures could be on the horizon, meaning folks should still limit their travel. Kentucky State Police warns drivers the most important thing is their safety as the winter storm continues.
So we also encourage people to allow themselves enough time to get to their destination. We know that travel will be slowed, so allow yourself extra time. And decrease your speeds and don't drive distracted. Put the phones down and please make sure they buckle up.
Gayhart reminds drivers if they begin to slide on roadways to steer into the skid to regain control of their vehicle. With the cold comes the concerns of connectivity, and line crews from all around the region are working to get the power flowing. Big Sandy RECC started yesterday with more than 5,000 reported outages throughout its coverage area, placing crews on mountainsides and in communities to address downed trees and other issues causing outages. Cooperative President and GM Jeff Prater says they have plenty of boots on the ground, including line workers from out of the area, hoping to get the electricity back to everyone who was in the dark.
A lot of linemen are traveling here and on the road. They'll be spending time here trying to get the power back on, away from their families. It's a dangerous job. The terrain is difficult. Icy conditions makes it very difficult to do the work that they have to do.
Prater says full restoration will likely take several days depending on the weather. More than 35,000 customers are without power across Kentucky, but that is down from more than 90,000 yesterday morning. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some of those power outages. If we start in Perry County, we'll see more than 200 people are without power right about now. And in Knott County, we've got more than 100 people without power. Taking a look at Floyd County, more than 600 people still do not have power. And as we're moving through the Big Sandy, we'll see those numbers are getting bigger, like in Martin County, where there are more than 1,400 people without power. Johnson County, they've got more than 3,000 people without power. And same thing going on in Morgan County, where they've got more than 2,000 people still without power, but we know those crews are out working to restore power as quickly as they can in the Big Sandy. We have talked about being cautious on the roads. Now let's take a closer look at the roads themselves. WYMT's Amelia Lee rode along with police to see what they do to keep people safe.
Snow, rain, and ice. Kentuckians are dealing with Winter Storm Blair. Governor Andy Beshear urges you to use caution.
Remember, This is a significant snow and ice event, so the roadways are still dangerous. You might be able to see the pavement, but that doesn't mean that it's not slick.
Eastern Kentucky first responders work diligently, making sure they are ready before the storm hits.
We try to get our vehicles prepared, make sure they all have fuel in them, make sure everything's functioning as it should be, good tires.
The Hazard Police Department patrols in vehicles just like this one. They're looking for dangerous road conditions as well as stranded vehicles, making sure that everything is safe and clear.
Thanks, guys.
While working closely with firefighters and city maintenance.
So does a great job, you know, keeping these parking lots scraped and sidewalks shoveled off. They do a great job.
If your car does get stuck in the snow, or you cannot move it out of the way before the snowplows come.
What happens is, obviously, you know, they can't go any farther, so then they leave their vehicle there, snowplows come through, and then it's usually a few days before everything melts so they can get their cars out.
The main goal on the patrols is keeping an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. What exactly would you be looking out for?
I'm looking for any trees that might be hanging over, you know, any railway obstructions.
When officers and community members saw this downed tree in the road, they made some calls, getting that tree cut down and out of the roadway so that you can get where you need to go. In Perry County, Amelia Lee, WYMT, Mountain News.
As of Monday morning, Governor Andy Beshear says Kentucky State Police dispatchers have reported more than 170 car crashes, 27 of them with injuries. He says officials helped more than 280 people who were stranded on the road. A Kentucky State Police trooper is recovering at home after his cruiser was rear-ended on Interstate 65 in Hart County during the weekend's winter storm. Take a look at the damage done to his vehicle. Governor Beshear says Trooper Landon Key was working a crash when his cruiser was rear-ended by another driver. He is now out of the hospital and is expected to be okay. Officials again want this image to be a reminder to stay off the roads during winter weather. Soon, applications will open for LIHEAP's crisis program. The application window runs from today through March 15th for those on a first-come, first-served basis. The program helps people in eligible households facing a home heating emergency, such as imminent loss of heat. You will need to have things like your current electric bill and proof of a Social Security number ready when you get ready to apply. We have much more about this at WYMT.com. As we have shown you, snow is affecting folks across the state. This is a video out of Louisville. We understand that 9 inches of snowfall was recorded at the Muhammad Ali International Airport, impacting flights in and out of the city. It was the most snow Louisville had seen in a single day since 1998. And don't forget to send us photos of the snow inside the WYMT First Alert Weather app. We've already received so many great pictures of your snow-covered mountains. If you use the link in this story posted on our website, we will be able to use your photos directly on air. The pictures are coming in from counties across the coverage area, and it is so nice to see the snowfall before that freezing rain set in. And we want to remind you, you can download the WYMT weather app to keep up with the latest conditions. Just scan the QR code on your screen with your phone's camera and it will take you to where you can download that app. It is free for both Android and iPhone users. While you're at it, you can also download the WYMT News app. You can find the latest winter storm coverage and closings and delays when they come in. You can also sign up for breaking news alerts. We want to remind you about our annual winter blood drive here at WYMT. The Kentucky Blood Center is teaming up with WYMT for the drive. It is happening here at the station tomorrow from 3 p.m. until 7 p.m. You must be at least 17 years old to donate or 16 with parental consent.
We have a cold start to your day, and we're not going to see much improvement as we're heading into those afternoon highs. Let's take a look as we're looking at Cumberland Valley. Those temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s for most of the area, but as you're traveling to La Follette, 32 degrees right on that freezing mark, and 30 in Tazewell, 31 in Middlesboro. Moving to the Kentucky River Valley, temperatures will mostly be in the mid to upper 20s, a little bit cooler as you're traveling towards Norton and Frenchburg at 24 degrees. And last but not least, that big sandy valley looking in the mid to upper 20s, mostly staying in the mid 20s though, as those temperatures will be quite cold. We do have that slight chance of flurries this morning, but that'll taper off as you're going into the midday hour. Around that 11 o'clock hour should be tapering off, looking at mostly cloudy skies throughout the day and staying cold all day long. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way.